If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video, and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and also well executed. It's not a request. If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video, and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and also well executed.
Is it working now? You can hear me? Okay. 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 We have learned something tonight, people, and I am so glad that you get to witness tonight what has happened. Actually, I'm not thrilled at all. I would just play my video about how I end up looking and feeling like an idiot through the rest of the show. What has happened, apparently, so this is not my 3D here. This is not my main camera, and apparently because I have my main camera backstage, it did not acknowledge my microphone. So I'm like talking, I'm saying hi, and I even tried to say a little bit of French because what Elsa Barrett had said. And you guys are so funny. What was that about hand puppets? Finally, a hand puppet party where you don't have to bring anything. Well, you know, it wasn't about unmuting the microphone. Apparently, you could not hear me because my microphone is connected to my main camera and because I had it backstage. But anyway, you know, there's no point in living in the past, people. Let's move on. How's everybody doing? We're just gonna, you know what? I need to calm down. And nothing calms me down quite like jingle bells. Right. So no, that's gonna make me sleepy anyway. I'll just put it back to what it was. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing okay. And I see other people saying, yeah, there she is. We can hear you. We can hear you. Hello, hello. And it's okay. We get the same thing with Jay. Well, so I'm acting like the professionals do. That makes me happy. So, all right, you can't. I don't know how much of this outline you can actually see, but tonight, doing something a little different from what a lot of our Thursday evening streams. Glad to be back doing that. Just hanging out with you guys. I know I was in the Valley of Decision, and I'm going to be putting a poll in the community tab for the channel. So pay attention to that because I need your input. But let me see. I'm going to start collecting some of my markers because I'm coloring that this evening. And I'm sorry if you'll hear a lot of like weird sounds in the background because I don't have they don't make cushioned marker holders. If they do, somebody send me a link to that. That'd be fantastic. So everything's made with plastic. So you're going to have to hear all this clatter in the background. But 'tis the season. But anyway, I want to get back to creating in the book. I use my hand puppets. In the book and creating the world. And I thought about taking tonight to do that. But I want your help with that because, again, as I always say, and if you're new here, somebody sent me this big old fat, awesome, old-looking book, and we've been creating a world in that. And I wanted to actually do a little bit of world building with you guys rather than just character creations, right? We were going to try to expand on that. And I was thinking, we need to make a holiday. Why not use... 'tis the season, as they say. Why not use this season, this holiday season? There's many holidays in this month. And use that to build a holiday within the world that we're working with. I know that might be a little complicated because of the fact that we don't have like a name for the world and whatever. It might be a little backwards. But, yeah, kind of hear what Megatron's saying. Create a Christmas equivalent in our little world. It's not just my little world. It's our, and it's Emily Kruger. Emily. We like weird. We like, all right. We like the weird sounds. But yeah, and I was going to, put a poll up and just kind of check with you guys and be like, hey, here's some ideas that I had for the holiday that we could possibly have in this world. What say you, men and brethren? What say you? I couldn't quite get my thoughts together today for that. I apologize because again, I do want to get back to that world. But also, I was super excited to color this guy. I don't know how well you can see the outline, and that's okay. But I thought it'd be fun to color this because I did take a picture of it in its sketched out form. And all this month on my Patreon, I'm going to be releasing coloring pages that I normally only release to the pencil fam, as I like to call them, the pencil fam. But this month, because it's Christmas, at least that's the holiday that I celebrate, it's Christmas time. And I'm going to be releasing a bunch of different coloring pages for everybody for free. You can actually become part of the free membership that's over there if you want to get updates on things. And so I thought I would just mention that so that way if you wanted to color the pictures that I have, I've got like a really fat polar bear coming out. He's so cute. Oh, he's so cute. I love me some polar bears. I got a fat polar bear coming out, and then there's going to be this guy. And then, forget who else. Who else do I got going on? Oh, little sneak peek there. That little guy, too. But anyway, yeah, I think it would be really cool. And in fact, I've got some paper with me here right now. So I know we're coloring an elf. And everything like that. He didn't turn out exactly how I hoped. I do have a prompt that I had for him, and but he's still super cute. His ears are a little stranger than I wanted them to be, but I decided to make a little holiday elf. But anyway, where's my paper? I had some paper. You know, this is the artist's life. Well, here, I got my paper. If you guys wanted to give me an idea to get us started for the holidays, because that was my other thing too. I was like, how am I supposed to draw the holidays in this world that we're working on, right? Like, how am I supposed to do that? And so I was going to call upon the powers of the people and see what kind of ideas you guys would have. So I mean, I think we start off with the foundation. So holidays are typically a celebration of a kind. Would you say? I mean, how would you guys define a holiday, right? How would you define a holiday? I'm curious to know. I would say 'tis a celebration of something. Let me get a couple of these lines out here. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm going to be coloring the whole face with this one marker, but the cool thing about Copic markers is that, you know, you can layer them really well. And if you haven't checked out Sending and Brave Megatron's channel, he would be the one to teach you how all this kind of stuff. But you can layer all these things, and so I put down a first layer, and then I'll put down another one, and this will get darker. I think everybody kind of understands it, but I just thought I'd throw out some knowledge. But yeah, I mean, to you, what would you say is a definition of a holiday? And if we knew what that was, like if we settled on that. Okay. Nick says getting together with family or friends. Okay. Oh, mark a historical event. Let me write that down. Hang on. Let me write these down. I need to switch over to getting together, and then marking historical event. No comments about left-handed penmanship. I'm going quickly. Stunning's late. Don't ask me, I just wing it. Don't we all? Okay. Marking a historical event. Elsa, that works well, because if we remember the last time that we were in the book, we created that sloth bear creature, right? Everybody kind of remember him? Shoot fire if I don't remember his name. Aw, where is that? This is supposed to be about this little elf guy, but we just can't get away from that world, can we? Exactly. Exactly. Blend intelligence. Hang on a second. Do not leave. I feel like I've forgotten the name of one of my own children that I do not have. um, so in hindsight, hang on just a second.
Not only do I spend the rest of the video feeling like an idiot, I also spend the rest of the video looking like an idiot, and you're not going to be able to unnotice it. Not only do I spend the rest of the video feeling like an idiot, I also spend the rest of the video looking.
And yeah, I do have that on loop, and I'm taking that off. Sorry about that. So I came back as promised, and I brought it. The book. Look, I said don't go anywhere, and 3 people left. You know, some people are just disrespectful, but Chris, thank you for the reassurance. It's okay. My handwriting looks like I'm. Excuse you? Would you wait? It's okay. That's okay. My handwriting looks like I'm writing left-handed, but I'm not. Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to. I thought you were talking some smack about us lefties. That's what made me think of it because of the war. Yes, you're on track. Look at that. We're remembering our history. I just can't remember what our sloth creature's name was, and that really makes me. Donker. Hang on now. Let me scooch things out of the way here. Okay, class. So call into session. Let's go over our history book. If we remember, Donker, who is an Empnar. Yes. And, well, since we're here, see if I can read my own handwriting. Yes, and he had the crack in his shell that glows or whatever like that, right? And but it emits, the rookie, I think, suggests that it emits like a special power that knocks out other people or whatever like that. But he can't use it properly because the crack in his shell. And yes, we talked about the War of Deep Marsh, the invasion of Deep Marsh, also known as the Fall of the Wall. Right? Somebody had suggested that, and we were like, well, it sounds a little too plain. What if we used it as a simplified version, right? Cool. Much like the Titans of Earth, there were amazing creatures with strange powers walking the land. There was a time of war and danger, and these creatures were needed to help in the fight. Oh, shoot, fire. What is this word? Empnar? Oh, okay. I thought it was one word. I need to work on that. Empnars contain shielding powers within their shells that can also emit a blast of destruction, energy canceling blast. Sounds like I did not finish my thought. Donker, who was the head of the Wall Brigade, was severely damaged during the invasion of Deep March, also known as the Fall of the Wall. Donker, disappeared after the war, choosing rather to live out his existence living for those who can't. Oh, I forgot how sad and everything that was too. Okay. So we are saying that because of this war, there was a celebration. So, okay, so it doesn't sound like they won the war. So maybe it's a celebration. Like, I don't want to say the opposite of a celebration, but you know, what is it? Is it like, I might say this wrong. Is it Dias de los Muertos, where it's the Day of the Dead, where they celebrate their ancestors? Is that what it is? I have a very limited knowledge about that event. I don't know that that's a holiday. I don't know how exactly that works. But yeah, they celebrate the lost ones. So I think that would be kind of cool. Some kind of a holiday to celebrate the dead. I guess also kind of like Memorial Day or even like 4th of July, right? So glad that the book survived the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Yes, it did. Yes, there are great treasures hidden within. Some of them are going to unfold eventually. Shout out to the people who sent that to me. They're wonderful. So, yeah. So, okay. So, getting together, marking historical event. Okay. What was the other thing? Was remembering the fallen. So, what if it's like a holiday that okay, holiday that marks the historical thing. And it has to do like I don't want to say it's like exchanging gifts necessarily. There's something that and let's think outside the box here. We can think of it as quirky or weird. It's no problem. Something that you have to do with family or with somebody significant. I don't want to say that's an exchange of something, but like there are some weird cultures, and I say that I don't mean that disrespectfully, but, like, compared to ours and what I am accustomed to, some really weird stuff out there, and that's perfect. That's great, you know? I mean, even here in the United States, like, you think of places, like, if you're up from the North or something like that, and you go to New Orleans, did I just say that? New Orleans, Narleans, whatever, however you say it. Um, Nolans, you know, the way they celebrate or the way that they perform funerals, very different from different places in the United States. So, what if there's a place like you're required to bring something? And I don't want it to be a gift because that'd be too much like Christmas, right? What if you're required to bring something maybe somewhere? Maybe it's not about someone, but it's somewhere. I would like it to be kind of a happy occasion, but maybe it's kind of like a lot of um events where it used to be something that was more of a memorial, more of a tribute, but then, you know, it becomes a little less reverential, right? A little less serious as time goes on. Um what would you all right, so let me ask you this. If you had family in the past or people you knew very well that, you know, gave their life for something, what would you want to bring? Or if somebody asked you, "What can I bring as a token of respect to this person, to their grave or wherever?" You know, they also have like lantern ceremonies in different countries and stuff like that too, right? So, what about something like that? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Have to bring some kind of a token somewhere. I know in Asia they have some very unique customs that I'm quite unfamiliar with. Um, and I wish I wish I knew more about at for this current moment that you can kind of learn from, especially because they're a lot of very respectful kind of culture. And so that I'm sure that there would be a lot that we can glean from that. If anybody knows of some strange, and again, don't say that, I don't say that disrespectfully. You know, I remember. Why are you crying thinking about Karate Kid 2? I I don't know. There. Okay, this music did not go where I thought it would, but maybe that will kind of help. It's Christmas. What if I had some old music in there? Like having it. Music helped me think because you know music causes emotion. Here in Canada, we lay a wreath. You mean like, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. Do you mean like a wreath? I get this word myself. I say it. I say wreath. You mean like the plant thing, the circular plant thing? That'd be kind of cool. Okay, so it was in the deep marshes. What if it's kind of like people are required to bring something like a wreath to okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I say reef a lot myself. So that's why I just wanted to check cuz you know, words be hard. Um what if everybody was supposed to bring something like it's a holiday and it's a time of remembrance. Maybe you are supposed to create a wreath or something like that. and they take it to the marshes, or you take it. No, marshes would be kind of cool. That could be, if you guys remember in our storybook, we were kind of thinking about how we would tie all of our characters into each other. And you remember Keffin, that little jerk, the little koala weirtoad with the stone. He hangs out in the swamps and stuff like that. Maybe that's how they find him. But okay. So what if they're supposed to make like a wreath or something like that? Oh, Nick says the floating paper lantern things look cool. Well, maybe they could put a candle or something like that on the wreath or something. We're building a story. We all get really great ideas all of a sudden. Could be a bouquet of wild flowers to brighten up. I like that. Metaphorical, to brighten up the marsh. Yeah, okay. I like that. What if it's like everybody... Okay. You know how everybody at Christmas time goes to the store, you're getting your cookies, you're getting your ugly sweater, you're getting greeting cards. Excuse me. And all these other things. So what if it's like, these people, these creatures and stuff like that, they are gathering the wildflowers as a kind of a community. Like it's not, it's a rogue Thursday, and you're like, oh crap, I gotta be like, deep marsh day is almost here, and I have forgotten to get the wildflowers. Let me go get my neighbor, and we're gonna go to the fields, And so you go out there, you might see a toad, or you might see Carl and Guts out there, collecting wildflowers along with Moby and the rest of them, right? And so it's just like all over the place. Like everybody's doing it. That's what you do. That would be I like that. Everybody's out at different times collecting flowers and doing that. That'd be really cool. Nice job, everybody. We're getting it. I like that. I'm gonna be needing to get new markers or get this one filled. It's starting to look rough here. A bouquet of wildflowers to brighten up the marsh. I like that. Okay, well, I only got his head to color, so let's see here. Oops, silly Tabitha. Okay, so, and then because it's supposed to be a memorial thing, like most festive occasions, you usually hang out with family afterwards or during. So maybe that's kind of what it is, like, because you want to remember those who gave their lives. It's just another occasion to get together. And that's why I'm saying, a lot of holidays and traditions, sometimes we get so caught up in the tradition that we forget what it means. Like, we're just like, we do it every year. It's kind of lost its specialness, if you will. And so some people are like, ugh, Marsh Day's coming. What would we call it? I don't want to call it Marsh Day. You guys want to go hang out on Marsh Day? So it was the fall of the wall in the deep marshes. Let's see, what kind of a name would be a... Oh, marshmallow. It's a little too cute, don't you think? All Laurel's Eve. Oh, laurels. Actually, okay, so I really love the idea of the bouquet of wildflowers, but I really like the idea of the laurels, right? Laurel can be a hard word to say. Laurel branches were meant to signify the winners, right? Victory, right? It stands for victory. So because they lost the war, though, but you want to remember them. What if it was like creating laurel crowns, if you will, laurel wreaths out of the wildflowers, to make it look pretty and everything like that, to take the time to make that. They create the laurel, winners victory wreaths. Because obviously, if If you're on that side of history, you would think, be like, well, we were the real winners. Kind of like in Firefly, you know, the brown coats and everything like that. We should have won. That would be cool. All Laurel's Eve. That's hard to say though, man. Like all Laurel's Eve. It's tripping me up a little bit, but I like it. Unless there's something that's similar to that. But what do you guys think? Does that make sense? Would that? I think that would work. All Laurel's Eve. They could call it Marsh Day, you know, for, again, you know, it's like, it's Marsh Day. Be like, I could just see a little, you know, a little family there and be like, oh, Mom, when is do I have to go to Marsh Day? And she'd be like, shut up, John. Show some respect. It's all Laurel's Eve. But that's too hard to say. You hush your mouth. You hush your mouth. Because, you know, families are the same everywhere, aren't they? You hush your mouth. You mind your respect. Put some spect on that. And John, I didn't mean to like refer to you in that story. As soon as I said it, I wasn't talking about you. It was just the first name that came to mind. You know, everybody's got like their Billy's, Tommy's, Susie's. Should just start saying like Edgar. Nobody ever says Edgar. I feel bad for the Edgars of the world, if there's any left. Edgar's a great name. Oh, we should. Oh, Edgar. I think I should make another character, and it would be a worm. I think Edgar is a great name for a worm. What do you think? Edgar the worm, but he wouldn't be just a worm, of course. We don't do just one creature characters around here. No, sir. No, sir. Okay, so this holiday. Let me write some of this. Yeah, gotta write this. The footnotes. Gotta write the footnotes down. So collect wildflowers and pass wildflowers. Collect 200. Collect wild. Excuse me. Flowers. Laurel crowns. Release in the swamp. And maybe a bigger piece of paper, and we call it All Laurel's Eve. I once had a student named Laurel. Whew, that was rough. It's a beautiful name, but it's rough. It doesn't quite flow. It's just a little jumbled there, Laurel. It's a mix between trying to speak Spanish with a German accent, I think. It's just, it's a little rough. Laurel. I like Marsh Day as the slang term. I do too. I agree, John. Marsh Day. All the creatures of wherever land, we're going to celebrate Marsh Day, although historically it was known as All Laurel's Eve. Is there a certain food that should be made? You know, Christmas, Hanukkah, all these things where they have like, you know, a certain kind of food that gets munched on during these festive times of year. And is that something, you know, roast crickets maybe? I don't know. What would be an interesting kind of food? Like we could do whatever we want here. Like this is our world. Hey, Rookie. Hello. Oh my. Monkey brains like in the Temple of Doom. Okay. So you know how it is. Like we can't just do monkey brains, right? But brains are fine. But what? See, this is kind of hard. Like what kind of brains are allowed to be eaten, excuse me, in a world that is made up of creatures, you know? Wouldn't that kind of be the same as like, I don't know, humans having a human monkey cake, brain cake, marshmallows, fruit cake? It's rough. Anything goes. This is true. So what would be a kind of creatures. Oh, I don't think I've done this the right way. Jesus, take the wheel. I've messed up the face. We'll work on it. A Christmas banana. That sounds like a new kind of tradition or a game, which sounds like super fun. Christmas banana. Let's see. So some kind of brain. What about worm brains? A delicacy. They're rather hard to get for obvious reasons. Boy, this poor marker's seen its time. Let's see. What would you consider a worthless animal? And I could make people upset. Don't you dare say poodles. What would you say? Ginger brain. Oh, that sounds festive too. Although it sounds genocidal to redheads, but I like the name of it. Like whatever kind of brain you mix, you can eat. You can mix it with ginger root or something. A bowl of rats. Okay. Oh, all right. What if it was some kind of rat worm? I know you're like, what? But remember, that's what we do here. You shouldn't be surprised about this idea. A rat worm. See, now I need to just start drawing. But I'm actually thinking while I'm coloring, which helps. Hope you... Cartman came up with that dish. Oh. A rat worm dish. What do we think about that? That would be kind of cool. How would you make a rat? How would you blend a rat and a worm? Well, I know that the tail of the rat kind of looks wormy, but that's a little too on the nose, do we feel? And maybe that's what we could do, though. It would be some kind of dish comprised of rat worm souffle. Oh no, it can't be dragon brains. Look, okay, all right, we gotta refresh. Really, Megatron? Would you really want to eat Tuerto's brain? That would just be cruel. We could not do that. Look at this face. Look at him. Who would you want to do? I ain't Googling different worms. Are you kidding? Are you serious? You want me to sleep or not sleep this evening? My cousin told me. Oh dear God, she told me when I up in North Carolina, up there, in good old NC, there are some kind of worms that are big, a hammerhead worms or something like that. I can't remember, something like this. They're really big and gross, and they resemble snakies. I know my cousin, she was digging in her garden when she first moved into her house. She thought she had a snake infestation, and it turned out to be these hammerhead worms. I decided to look it up. I don't remember what I saw. I was traumatized, and I'm not looking again. But that's not a bad idea, Rookie. Obviously, we like to look for reference photos, but I ain't doing it. I want to be able to sleep this evening. A rat sphinx, bat wings, rat body, worm tail. That sounds really complicated. I was thinking more worm, less rat. Of course, it would have to taste like chicken. We all know this. I mean, is there any other flavor of meat? Come on, let's be real. What if it was like maybe it tastes like buffalo, a rat worm, a rat sphinx. Although I like the name, rat sphinx. Is there a different way to spell rat? What if it was a worm with just like one tooth sticking? Where I work, we have these things called rat-tailed maggots. Don't Google it. I don't want to. I'm like, my brain, my poor imagination is already like, don't think about it. But at the same time, I want to know. But I can't. Let's see. All right, I need some pinky colors. By the way, I have some really cool news for things coming in 2024. I'm going to be having guests back on the show, not just for art parties, but I'm going to continue my efforts and my shows where I have YouTubers on and I'm teaching them how to paint. And I have some really cool guests coming on. I hope you guys will be around for that. It's going to be really exciting and some very interesting art projects. Because if you haven't been around, if you haven't watched that show that I do, I invite YouTubers on to let me teach them how to paint, and they get to pick what they get to paint, and then I have to come up with something, and then I have to try to teach them, and it's fun. There might be in the upcoming year, there might be some finger painting going on. Yeah, there might be some finger painting going on, and that's not really in my wheelhouse. So you guys make sure you subscribe to the channel if you can't wait to see that video come up. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh my goodness. So but I'm really looking forward to getting back into that. My poor little guy's got sunburn right now. And then also, I would like, so I'll be moving things around. So, I have an Etsy shop and I sell things there. Things are going to be switching around. Maybe making some of my own stuff. For the example, hiya! I'm so excited. I'll be producing my own stuff. You can see, so these are stickers and they're really, really cool. You can see how vibrant. These are all hand-drawn, hand-colored. And yeah, so this is all going to be updated and coming soon in 2024, and I'm super excited about that, and hope you guys are too. And if you know people that like One Piece and Lara Croft and Star Wars stuff, it's all coming, and I'm super excited about that. And also, yeah, you can see my Canadian. I had to print him out. He's one of my favorite creations that I've ever made, besides like Darth Maul. But also, oh shoot, what was I going to say? I read the Canadian Kids, being like my own posters and all that kind of stuff. But also, I'm going to, because we have created this world, I'm going to eventually get the characters that we've made into sticker forms and get that available for you guys. If you have a favorite creature that we've created, I want you to be able to have access to collect that, because some of our characters are awesome. You guys have shared and put a lot of input into those creatures. And so I just kind of want to be able to give back as a say thank you and be like, here's a little Moby. Well, here's a little Keffin. Or maybe you guys just really love Carl, or maybe you just want you some guts, But yeah, I want to be able to do that for you, for me, for everybody, and just like spread the art, have some fun, and hopefully you guys will want those. I know I do. I would love to put a Keffin on, I don't know, something. I want to print out a little colored Keffin sticker. I'm so excited about it. So really cool things coming to the channel. All right, what am I working on next? I need some more pinks. Also, you guys know it's the holiday season. If you didn't know, it's the holiday season. And so these next couple, I typically do the shows on Thursdays. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of traveling these up close until like the new year. And so the streams will not be on Thursdays. And so I was going to check and see. Thursdays are starting to get a little bit complicated. And I don't want to lose you guys. I really appreciate the fact that everybody shows up and you hang out. You give me wonderful ideas. You laugh with me, you laugh at me. But I was wondering, I want your input as well for this, but I was possibly considering switching the days that I stream. And I know a lot of us share the same space with a lot of other content creators, and we can't help that. We're going to conflict with one another, just how it all works. but we're not conflicting each other. It was just time frames and stuff like that. But I'm considering alternative days, just because sometimes Thursdays can get really complicated. But is it St. Patrick's Day again? But yeah, I kind of just wanted to throw that out there and just so that you guys have like a heads up. And but I hope you enjoy these streams. Throw out some days that would work for you, and I'll try to consider it for these live streams where we create these worlds together. I don't want you to miss it, for sure. But are there any other days that work well for you guys that I should consider? And I'll be thinking about that. Exactly. It's hard not to overlap with how many of us all kind of know each other, hang out. And so there's all of that. But, it's all good. Yeah. So, all right. I think that was it, talking about the different paintings. So I will actually be having a really cool episode. I say episode, but a really cool video coming out on Christmas Day, and a special video coming out on Christmas Eve for you guys. And hope you really enjoy that. Hope you will watch that and let me know what you think. Of course, artwork included. There may have been some traveling involved. Here we go. And then I also want to get back to doing my some people were asking me if I'm going to still continue doing my travel and or art vlog videos. Yes, I've got some of those coming up as well. And looks like I'm going to be going to some new places in the upcoming year, visiting some friends that I haven't seen for a while. So I'm going to take the camera, take my art book and everything like that. I'm going into 2024 with some lit energy, if that's what the kids are saying these days. Is opposite day works for me. Okay, you got it. Is this creature going to have a Christmas outfit? It is. I am creating a little Christmas elf. And so it takes a while to get the face and everything like that. So I better put this away to stain yourself here. It takes a little while to get all the colors sorted out and done. Let's see. Let's work on the inside here. What color hair should I give him? I was thinking like maybe white hair. Maybe. But let's see. I was thinking about giving him some white hair. But maybe he needs some brown hair. Or I don't know if I have all the right colors for red hair. Oh, see, red hair. Everybody loves the ginger. Okay. Red hair, but he'll have red in his outfit. Maybe it should be like that orangey red hair. Like that would be kind of cutesy and kind of fun. Oh, that's the same color as the rest of the hair. Have I messed it up? Let's just kind of get some streaks in there. I just let's see. Okay. All right. So back to our rat worm. I love it. So that would be the official food. Well, maybe ratworm doesn't have to be an animal. Ratworm brain stew or something like this, right? Is that kind of what we're thinking? Maybe that's a type of weed. Maybe? I don't know. Thinking. Maybe it's a type of weed. Maybe it's not literal. I'm losing track of my colors here. Let's see. Maybe it's like a type of flower that looks. Maybe it's a type of flower that when it's raw, it tastes like a rat, but it looks like a worm, or a rat's brain, but maybe you have to cook it just right in order to bring out the sweetness of the flavor. Maybe that's what we could do. All right. We're thinking maybe what color eyes should we do? Bluish green, maybe, because he's gonna have green in his outfit. So maybe bluish green. Let's see how much we can get done of this character. Excuse me. Here we go. All right, little guy. We're just gonna go for it. Teal eyes. Yeah, we're gonna have like bluish green eyes. I think that would be good. Trying to get better with that. And then I really want to start getting back into painting. So I've been trying to be a little bit more on top of my videos that I've been releasing. And like I said, I have the one coming out for Christmas Day that I filmed a couple weeks ago, and trying to get all that done because between editing and everything and all the stuff going on in life, I've not been able to have time to paint the way that I want to paint. Oh, hints of purple. Hints of purple, or should I do like neon yellow or something? I'm trusting you on this, Megatron. You're the colorist. I have this really cool idea for things that I want to do. I'm going to be releasing them on the super secret stuff page on Patreon, because it's like kind of be like where I talk about the things that I really want to do, that I'm planning on trying to do. And these are beautiful eyes. Hints of purple. Dude, I don't have that much variety of purple. I need more markers. I think these are the only purples I have, and this is too strong. This I don't think is delicate either. I don't know how I would blend that. I was pretty sure I had a lighter purple. This is like a blue violet color. I mean, it's there, but it's kind of... But I haven't painted a long time, and I'm itching. I'm itching. I need to. I mean, I love how much I've learned with markers and everything like that. I've come a really long way, but I haven't picked up a paintbrush to do something I really want. And in fact, I was actually this year, and since the movie has passed, I'll just let the cat out of the bag. And hopefully it will one day come to fruition. But if you guys remember a couple years ago, on my YouTube, I was doing like character crossovers, right? I love doing paintings of character crossovers. I did Harley Quinn and Morticia Addams. I did one of my absolute favorites was Mr. T with Sir Walter Raleigh. And then I did Winnie the Pooh and Batman and Tigger and the Joker. I haven't painted live in a long time. I might need to be doing that again. Sold a couple of those paintings because you guys really liked them. So maybe I should do that again, because that way I could get back to painting. But anyway, I was going to try to have it in time for the movie, and life just did not work out that way. But I wanted to do 2 of the world's greatest adventures. I'm messing this eye up. I gotta get it. Oh well, it's okay. Just make them bigger, Tabitha. Just make them bigger. Bigger means cuter. Bat poo. You were here for that. That's right, bat poo. I still have him. My oil painting of bat poo. But anyway, I was going to do a crossover of 2 of the most amazing, the bestest, legendary adventures in the whole world. And my character crossover was going to be Indiana Jones meets Evelyn O'Connor, or Evelyn Conahan from The Mummy. And I have the pose, I have the picture in my mind and everything. I even had it like sketched out. I just never had the time to paint it, because you got to get in the zone for stuff like that. And there was no time for the zone. There was no zone. I was not allowed in the zone. And so one day, oh, that's right. Also, I was trying to remember. I'm like, I know I did somebody else. I did Gina Carano as Elizabeth Bennet. So those paintings are so much fun, and I've come such a long way. Although it's been a while. Like I want to reignite that. But I also have so many other ideas, and it's just like it's kind of hard also, because like with YouTube, if like YouTube loves the tutorials and stuff like that, and which is fine. But I tried. Contemplating the way things have kind of changed with YouTube and stuff like that. Like, okay, what's working, what doesn't, and I know, you got to be true to yourself. But at the same time, it's kind of nice to try to gain the attention, because obviously as an artist, I love making art, but it's also a joy to see people want to purchase your art and stuff like that. And so trends and all this kind of stuff, which is exhausting and really kills the artistic endeavor and spirit a lot of times, because then it's not really about the passion of the artwork, but the pursuit of the, I don't know, something. But anyway, so it's just kind of hard to find the time sometimes, and but I want to find the time. It's worth it, because it means something. There's just some kind of joy that comes from being creative, doing your own thing outside the box. And the thing is too, is like, you just never know who would latch onto that. I saw somebody the other day wearing a shirt that was like low quality, as far as like, it wasn't this brilliantly photoshopped shirt or anything like that, but it was like a picture of like heaven or something like that. The clouds, the light shining down. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was like Keanu Reeves' Jesus holding a cat in heaven. It's great. I mean, that's awesome, right? It's great. It's stupid. But people are buying this stuff. Like, people legitimately are buying this stuff. And kind of gives you hope. Like, well, maybe somebody will buy my artwork that doesn't look as stupid as that, which I say it's stupid only out of bitterness. No, it's like, it's because it's strange, right? Like, it's funny. I don't know. I love me some Keanu Reeves, but I don't know. Keanu Reeves Jesus holding a cat in heaven seems a little strange. But that at the same time, Mr. T as Sir Walter Raleigh's a little strange. I made a shirt of that. I wore it around town. I even wore it to Vacation Bible School at church. Like, I loved it, and people liked it too. Just never know. Let's see. You see how many markers it takes to do stuff like this? Belongs on a candle. You're absolutely right, John. That it belongs on a candle. Hey, Tom, it is the Rogue Attraction. I'm doing a Christmas elf, but we have created a holiday for our fantasy world that we will eventually get back to doing. If I find the time, guys, I probably will stream on a different day before I start my travels. So I hope that's okay with everybody. It won't be on a Thursday because, like I said, these next coming weeks are going to be crazy. But I want to get back to that because I enjoy doing that with you guys. And so we have created all Laurel's Eve, Tom. Tom, you are a food person. If you were going to have a festive holiday food in a fantasy world, and it had to do with ratworms, what comes to mind? What would be good? What would be realistic? How do you feel about like ratworms? Tell me, Tom. What do you think? Hey, forgotten man, you had to step away, so I fell behind. What did I miss? Well, you missed me pouring out my heart and soul, but that's okay. There's next time. You know, we artists always pour out our whole heart and soul. Dang, these eyes are cute. Watch me mess up. There's always one eye that's a little weird. I think God made us that way on purpose. Like everybody's eyes are a little bit wonky, and I think He does that to give us hope. Like when we draw and stuff like that, be like, "Don't make it perfect. You ain't." That way, it's more realistic. He gave us a little grace. Hey, Power 800. Hello, hello. All right. He said, "All right." I knew Tom would have a good answer. I would probably stir fry and treat it like snake. All right. So just have to create a ratworm. And so they would catch ratworms. And then maybe you skin it. Or like open it up. It's because it's got a layer of something on the outside. And then you take that meat and then fry it. That would be kind of cool. And then maybe put it in a stew. Does that sound tantalizing? Does that sound good, chat? Like, would we like this to make this the official meal of All Laurel's Eve, also known as Marsh Day? I have to write that down too. Marsh Day. Are we signed, sealed, and delivered and committed to this? Let me see. What size are the ratworms? I think they need to be like about this long, but like really juicy thick, like something that Timon and Pumbaa would be just aghast to have. I think so. Your elf looks like a Melvin. What is a Melvin? With chestnuts. Of course. Okay. Ratworm. Ratworm stir fry with chestnut. We'll work on it, but I like that. The fact that it would have some kind of a nut with it. I think that would be good. Oh. Maybe I'll make this a little bit more of a rustic looking elf, like a little softer kind of, like an unfinished looking kind of elf. All right, gotta have the lashes because he is a chibi. Make him look all sweet. His name? Oh, he looks like a Melvin. Okay. Aw, little Melvin. He could be little Melvin. Let's name him. All right. I do like a stew though, but like maybe there's different ways. Let's see. Do I put up here or do I have to make this? Are ratworms only found in deep marsh? Well, ketchup, exactly. There's no ketchup in this world. Snake meat is texturally different, so having a crunchy component helps. Okay. All right. Are ratworms only found in deep marsh? That's a good question. No, Tom, we're taking this very seriously. This real world, this world's going to be real one day. You watch, and now you're going to be part of it. You're going to be the creator of ratworms. fried ratworm stew with chestnuts. Aren't you proud? Aren't you proud? I don't know if this eyelash should go here. Oh, it's too thick, but that's it. I'm just gonna. It is what it is. Okay. Oh, I forgot the other ear. Exactly. You tell him. This is serious business. Ratworm. I gotta write that down too. We said, was it fried? Ratworm stew with chestnuts. Now I want to kind of, Tom, I need you to make something like that, please. Could you figure that out for us? That would be really great. Guys, wouldn't that be so cool? Tom actually figured out how to make ratworm stew. That'd be so freaking cool. It actually starting to sound pretty good. Or maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah, okay. All right. So ratworm stew, the official food of All Laurel's Eve. Of course, you're allowed to have other kinds with breads and all this kind of stuff, of course, too. Of course. But, you know. Tom, would you really consider trying to make it? He's over there like, I can't get snake meat, but I can get gator meat. Sounds like volunteering to me. Hey, it is JT Late Night with Cap. He had Abomination AJ on his show the other night. That was interesting because I came in at a weird time and I didn't realize that they were talking about dogs. I thought it was like a metaphor. So I'm like, what is going on? I thought they were talking about like, you know, each other, if you will. And it's like, I don't think I'm understanding the conversation. It's good. You guys should check out his channel. You'll make a gator stew. Okay, but it's got to be fried. No, you're not making gator stew. Get it right, Tom. You're making fried ratworm stew with chestnut. Yep. Yeah, I was confused. What markers am I using? I am using Copic markers. Yes, I love me some Copic. I love it. And then Tom, I have to try it, right? Like, gotta try it. I would actually love it. It's so great. I have to visit you and be like, hey, got any of that ratworm stew? Oh, here's the other question. Oh, look at him getting creative. Throw in some crawfish into for a buggy element. Okay. All right. It's got to be kind of, you know, rural. I say rural, but like, you know, foresty, right? A little bit. It can't taste too good, probably. When my travels are done. I'm excited. That would be so cool. Guys, we might be getting some legit well, I say legit, but you know, ratworms. Let's see. Do they have gators in Treeland? Okay. Not that I know of, but the weirdest sign I've ever seen in my life. That's right, tree folk. Was when I went to the beach with a friend, and we were going. I think we were going to Carolina Beach or something. And as we're getting closer, you know, you can start smelling the beach. Everything's just wonderful. And I look up and I see this sign that I thought had to be a joke. Like, there ain't no way. Like, what? And it legit says bear crossing. And we are, mind you, we are like maybe 6 minutes from the beach. We're almost to our hotel and everything. And I see a sign for bear crossing at the beach. Who to what the freak? Huh? I don't know. You know, you're already having to convince yourself that you're not going to be eaten by a great white shark on your trip. It's going to be okay. You're in the hands of God. It's okay. We got this. It's going to be great. And then you see a sign that says bear crossing. What the what? What? Who's making up these laws? Who's making up these rules? I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim. Okay. Pretty happy with the eyes and everything. Let me clean up because I got to switch out colors. So I don't know about gators, but apparently bears. And then I have a friend who lives in Virginia, closer to the water, not quite towards the beach, but she lives where there's a lot of lakes that eventually bleed into the ocean, of course. And I mean, she's probably like an hour and a half from the beach, and she homeschools, and she has a homeschool group where her kids hang out with other people and all this kind of stuff, all that fun stuff that I never got to have when I was homeschooled. Not bitter. And she told me that they saw a bear at one of the picnic tables at a playground where they were hanging out. She's like, Tab, we legit saw she's like, maybe it was a small bear. She's like, to me, I thought it was a baby bear. And of course, we all know where there's baby bears, there's mama bear. I'm going to throw in some of this in here. Why not? Why not? There's a little bit there. So, I mean, how to eat fried ratworm stew. I love it. I like, the more I hear it, I love it. Right? They're the crustaceans of the sea is what I've heard. There's all kinds of strange dishes soldiers came up with to make their time at war more bearable. Like in World War I, Germans in the trenches couldn't get coffee, so they used scrapings from burnt toast. I have also heard that you can hear in the States during Civil War, what did they use? A guy at this church I went to, he was an elderly gentleman. He was very knowledgeable about history and all kinds of great things. And they used some kind of, it wasn't the scrapings from burnt toast, but it was some kind of a nut or something like that they would crunch up and make coffee out of that, which is very interesting. Maybe ratworms is all they had, so they made the best of it. I like Bigfoot. Actually, there has been sightings in North Carolina of big feet, and I know somebody personally. We talked about this on your channel that saw a Bigfoot, which he'll never confess to, but he saw it. Okay, let me see. I need a yellow kind of color. That'll do, pig. That'll do. All right, let's get some color on these clothes. We've spent a lot of time on this face. As you guys will see, it takes a while. It takes a while to color, and I'm not even totally satisfied with it, but I wanted to get a move on. Ratworm stew. Guys, I think that's amazing. We came up with we didn't just come up with a holiday. We came up with a holiday, a pack story, and then we even came up with a holiday dish. How about them apples? That's freaking cool. And then, let's see. Dandelions? What? What about dandelions? Did I miss something? You've been spotted again. Holiday games, right. Well, all right. So it can be a little dark if it needs to be, because if you're not familiar with the history of Ring Around the Rosie, then it's very educational and makes what I'm about to say not so bad. So since All Laurel's Eve is a way of commemorating the dead whom they thought should have been victorious in the battle of the fall of the wall. Dandelion tea. I've heard of that. Pin the tail on the rat. 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 Pin the ta there could be games, if you will, that the children play that kind of joke around about the dead, where they, kind of run and fall. Maybe it's kind of like there's a race in the marsh, like, and not in the marsh, but maybe just in the mud. And it's like, who can get to the end the fastest, or something like that. Why? I mean, and obviously, the people that didn't make it didn't win, didn't win the war. And I say that, it's like, it's kind of dark, is because, like I said, if you don't know the history of Ring Around the Rosie, then, well, no pointing fingers till you know the history of Ring Around the Rosie. There's dandelion coffee. What? Oh, I didn't know that either. I do love the idea of pin the tail on the rat. Pin the tail on the rat. It's great. It's awesome. I love world building. It's so much fun. I don't have that many red colors, so we're just kind of working with some ambient colors. I don't know if I'm saying that appropriately, but that's what we're going with. Sounds graphic. Ring Around the Rosie. So the history of Ring Around the Rosie is that it had to do with the Black Plague in England. And it was a way to kind of get children to cope with all the devastation that was going on. So Ring Around the Rosie is a reference to the fact that people, when they would get the plague, when they got the virus or whatever you're going to say, they would get boils and things like that. And one of the first signs was like there would be this red ring around where the boil, I believe it was going to come up. So Ring Around the Rosie, it was a red ring. Okay. Ring Around the Rosie, pockets full of posy. Posy is like an old-fashioned word for like potpourri. So they would keep things like potpourri in their pocket because they really believed in the healing power, essentially of essential oils and stuff like that, right? The different kind of medication back then, a lot of homespun stuff, not a lot of drugs at the time and all this kind of stuff. So Ring Around the Rosie, pockets full of posy, pockets full of medication, essentially to try to ward off things. Ring Around the Rosie, pockets full of posy, ashes, ashes. We all fall down. Did I miss a step? Ring around the rosy, pockets full of posy, ashes, ashes. We all fall down. No. Okay, so ashes, ashes had to do with because the only way to stop the spread of the plague was to burn the houses down and the people inside that died. And we all fall down is about the dead people. So so when you hear little nursery kids singing this song, that's what it's talking. Exactly, JT. It's super fun. Ring Around the Rosie, pockets full of posy, ashes, ashes. We all fall down. So when kids are falling down, they're reenacting the deaths of the millions of people that died. You're welcome, Internet. But that's fascinating to me, though. Where this stuff comes from, and then we don't even have a clue. That's like, I remember, so most of you will remember, like, my mom's not from the States. And so obviously learning English and everything that we say. So like Rockabye Baby. I remember her telling me that when she had her first child and she was learning these nursery rhymes, and you're learning English, and you often take what's being said literally, and You guys ever actually listen to the lyrics of Rockabye Baby? Rockabye Baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will... Rockabye Baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will drop. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all. I remember reading a little bit more about that, but my mom was horrified. She's like, "Why are you singing this to your children when they're trying to sleep at night?" Sadistic Americans, we're all about that violent life. Survival of the fittest. Oh, dear heavens. London Bridge, let's see. I've never actually read The Velveteen Rabbit. I'm more of a Winnie the Pooh person, so. London Bridge is fallen down stuff. What was it? There's a Dancing Plague too. Might do it, but you should. Others getting rid of their children. The baby, he'll brush it off. It's just a flesh wig. Brush it off. There is more to the rockabye than just, as bad as it sounds. But it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. At least when you just hear it for the first time like that. It's pretty bad. All right. The baby's fine. It's all fine. I mean, honestly, it's not. Well, I mean, it's pretty bad. But like when you start doing research, like of customs of other countries, like even like customs of other countries, what they do with their children, we're doing okay over here. People get like upset when you smack a baby's behind. When they're first born and be like, oh, it's so traumatizing. It's like they're literally doing that to make sure that they're breathing. But like, okay, in places in India, this is what I've read on the internet. So like Abraham Lincoln said, it must be true. Obviously. Hang on, let me get a drink here before I go on my story. Apparently. Sorry if that was loud. I forget sometimes that the mic picks up a lot of the sounds that I am not thinking about. Apologies to those of sensitive hearing. But anyway, apparently there's places in India that when the child, I don't know if it's when it's I think it might be when it's a newborn, if not maybe a couple of weeks old, that they boil milk. Okay, I want you to like hear my words. They boil milk. Put the baby inside, like hold the baby inside. Take the baby out. So that's, that's fun. It's cool, right? It's cool. It's part of like a you're asking yourself like, what? And you're justified in saying what? So it's some kind of like cleansing thing. Yeah, exactly. To what end? And I mean that also obviously sounds really graphic and horrible, like they're boiling the child to death. I don't know. Now, to be fair, I don't know all the ins and outs of this process, but that's what I was reading. Like they pour either they put them in a bowl of it or they pour boiling milk on their bodies, which either way is terrible. But they do it like it's a cleansing. If I'm not mistaken, that was the reason why it's cleansing. And they're also a very religious and or superstitious kind of folk. So I do tend to wonder if it also has some of that, like, I don't want to say magical, but for like a lack of better words, like a healing and magical abilities as far as to ward off evil or something. I'm not positive. You'd have to look into that, or I would have to look into that. But yeah, that's so that's cool. And that's how you get veal. Exactly. Crying baby's a breathing baby. That's the whole reason. So there's that. There's that one. Then also, this one's not quite as horrific, but I find it a little strange. So, we're all about progress and making sure we don't retard the progress of children. And we all, there's the joke, which is also the sad fact. We always gonna be like, this is why China is winning. But I don't know if it's all of China or just some of China, but they don't let their baby's feet touch the ground for, I think it's 6 months. Like, at all. You carry the child everywhere for 6 months. This has to do with luck. So, like I said, with progress and all this kind of stuff, you would think that would be counterproductive, because it's almost like holding it back. Like, I know a lot of parents, they want to put their kids, kind of hop them around, put them on the floor, all this kind of stuff, but like, to make sure that they start learning how to walk, getting adjusted to all of that. But apparently they don't do that over there, or at least in some of the places. Obviously, again, that's not quite as graphic or awful or anything. Just different ways of developing your child. Then in, I can't remember if it's in Norway or Sweden. They're all the same up there. Just kidding. But it's like in Norway or Sweden, or even a lot of the colder northern countries in Europe, would leave their children. It gets really cold up there. It didn't make them exactly. So they leave their children in the buggies, right? And then leave them outside in the wintertime while they go shopping. Because it teaches the children to be hardy, to adapt to the climate and the cold. I've heard something similar with Russia. They don't do this to babies, as far as I know, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did, to be honest. They're a tough breed over there. But I remember even seeing the video that during school and stuff like that, they would take time to let the children basically either, I don't want to say it was stripped down to their underwear, but they like swimming garments essentially. And they would throw them, or release them, I should say. They would release them into the snow with nothing but essentially these like undergarment clothes, and leave them outside playing and whatever in the snow for however long, essentially, I guess the PE period, so that the kids become accustomed and hardy to the winter, the harsh winters that are up there. So, hey, discount superhero. That way they get used to being outside in the cold, exactly, from an early age. And now you yes. Every country, that's the thing. You got to teach your kids to, I'm not a parent, so, take what I say with a grain of salt, but you have to teach your kids to adapt to where you're at. I remember, I find it so bizarre in places like over here where I'm at, that I'd be wanting to get dipped in the boiling milk if I was a baby on the cold. You said it. You said it for sure. I mean, that would be how I would be, but I don't like the cold. I like the cold in moderation, because it does give me the whole, Christmas vibes, Christmas atmosphere and everything like that. But cold is my friend. It's good for you. There's a lot of like health benefits to snow, but the cold, I should say. But if you're going to live in places like that, yeah, you have to make sure that your kids can survive, in that situation. I used to live in Las Vegas when I was younger, and I had moved there from the tropics. So from hot to hot, but it was a different kind of hot. Okay. Humid to arid. And it was so cool. The church that I went to, they had a lot of programs that just like we didn't just learn about the Bible at church. We learned about like how to survive. Like they would have people come in and teach us how to prepare for hiking in the desert, how to stay hydrated, what to do if you were bitten by a snake, all this kind of really cool stuff, which I think makes total sense. And so it always surprises me when like when you go hiking, what do you do when you come in contact with a mountain lion and all this kind of really great educational work and everything like that. And when I came over to the South, like I've yet to be at a church or anything like that that does stuff like that. Not necessarily that the church is required to do that, but it just made sense to me. Like, this is cool. And, teaching people how to adapt to where they're at. So it's the same thing with, your babies and stuff like that. You gotta, when you get bitten by a snake, you lie down and die. Wow. So in Panama, yes, we had this one kind of snake called, we had this one kind of snake called a fer-de-lance, very aggressive snake. And its nickname was like the 2-step or the 3-step. Not because, you got the urge to get up and dance, but because its poison was so fast that there was no time. Kind of like being bitten by a black mamba. There's no time. You're dead. Like, you gone, be like, oh, Charlie, it was nice knowing you. He's gone. We lost Charlie. So, just saying, you gotta adapt. I mean, it's not uncommon in cold countries and stuff like that to take your kid out in the stroller, bundle them up, let them be exposed to the harshness of the weather. Well, obviously, you're not going to leave them out there overnight. That would be stupid. I mean, I don't know. Maybe unless you're a Viking or something, maybe that's what they did. But, I don't know how true it is. I've always heard it as a proverb, right? I don't know if it was actually a tradition among the natives, the indigenous folk, but they say that there was a rite of passage or something like that for the young men in a certain tribe where they would get to a certain age and then they get left out in the woods. And if they would overcome their fear and they survived the night, then that was their trek into manhood. But and while I don't know if that story is completely accurate, I wouldn't doubt it. I really wouldn't doubt it because a lot of tribal folk, and not even just tribal, but just like anywhere, manhood was such an important thing. And so the display of masculinity made for a lot of different and very, very rough traditions and what's the word I'm looking for? But anyway, so because of the fact that I don't remember what tribe it is, but somewhere along the Amazon, there is a tribe there that one of the rights into manhood, and this is where it's like, it's good to be a woman sometimes, is so there are a lot of really aggressive and dangerous ants. I don't know if you know this, but we learned about that in Panama for sure. Like, you don't mess with the ants. Like, don't be playing with those giant, those aren't sand castles that somebody decided to start and not finish. Okay, leave those alone. Leave those alone. You don't mess with those. No joke. Went to the library one time. They had a jar about this high, and inside that jar, no lie, was an ant about this long, and like his little individual body pieces were like this thick, and he had those little pincer things. So, you don't, but anyway, fire ants, all of that stuff. You don't mess with it. And so this tribe, one of the ways that they introduce a young man to manhood, a young boy, his introduction to manhood, like his initiation process, is that the women would weave these mittens from leaves of the trees, 2 mittens, and they would fill them up with fire ants. Okay, you probably already know where this is going. They filled them up with fire ants, and then the young boys would have to wear them for an extended amount of time. I do not recall if it was all day or it was only for, until I don't know, until it was time for dinner, whatever the case was. They had to sit there in agony. And I don't know if you know, but like having a zillion ants, fire ants no less, their combined efforts and the little bits of poison that they shoot out into your hands, and their pincers hurt, and you have hundreds of them on your hands biting you because they can't get out. Like, you wouldn't think ants could do that kind of damage, but they can. It can cause them to pass out. And that's the other thing too. If I'm not mistaken, I think you're not allowed to pass out because obviously a real man wouldn't pass out. You got to be tough. You got to tough it out. And that's pretty bad. And sometimes like these kind of creatures can have like hallucinogenic qualities to them. And yeah, see, Discount Superhero says, I've been bitten on 2 separate occasions by fire ants, and it's no joke. So you can imagine volunteering for this, number one, and then subjecting yourself to hundreds, if not thousands, of continuous biting. So real men love Jesus and ant mittens. That's right. If you don't know what to get your in-laws for Christmas this year, ant mittens for the real men in the family. But yeah, and so a boy would undergo this, and that's introduction to manhood. So that's tough. We feel like I'm counting my blessings. It's like, you know what? I think I could just cook and clean for a man the rest of my life if that's the case. Okay. Be like, cook and clean or be bitten by a million ants on purpose. Now, what's also cool, a little survival technique, is that you can, because the pincers from an ant, even the smaller ones, are really powerful. And so they were saying if you ever were out in the wild and you cut yourself, obviously not having access to stitches, if you were able to find the right ant and manipulate it enough into biting and letting it release its pincers, it has enough force behind it, and it's so cool, but it sounds very unrealistic. It's a very romantic way of picturing how to close an open wound, is to let that ant bite you, and it will release its pincers, and it's powerful enough to actually keep your skin together, which is super cool. Very handy information, sorta. I think it's cool though, but I hope it never comes to that. I hope it never comes to that. That sounds awful. My dogs occasionally get attacked by ants. I used to play soccer, and I was sliding into home base once and slid over an ant mound. Fire ants. And they all just immediately start crawling up my leg and trying to bite. And fortunately, we were able to get most of them off because it was like it happened so quickly. So that was really good. Thank God for mom's big hands helping me out there. Obviously bigger than mine because I was probably around 6 or 7 at the time. Okay. I've done some pretty cool things over the years, but using ants for stitches, I think I'll pass. Yeah. No, that's definitely a as needed kind of situation that I hope I never need. Like, dear God, please, if I'm ever in that situation, can I just die and come be with you? In this I pray. Amen. What do we think of our little elf guy? I know, probably not quite as much fun as if we were creating ratworms, but I think I'll have to create a ratworm for you guys in the book. What do you think? We have to know what a ratworm looks like. And then I have to pass that information over to Tom. Be like, can you make it look like this? You guys hoping to get some cool stuff for the holidays? Melvin is looking good. Thank you. Yeah. It's pretty. It's pretty good. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish Melvin. Seems like lately. And maybe it's just because I'm trying to be better. Or maybe it's because I have some kind of compulsion issue where I haven't been able to finish these projects on stream. But we're gonna go for it. We're gonna give it a try. He is pretty darling, isn't he? See, I think I'm going to give him brown boots to just separate it from all the rest of this. So, hey, it's Anonymous. Made it. Let's see. Got all my Christmas shopping done. Cool. Spoiled the crap out of the nieces. Aw, it's fun to do that. My niece is really into birds, and she's very young, and she's learning birds. She's loving gardening and learning about nature, and so she's really into birds right now. So I decided just to ask her because she's gonna totally forget what she said. In 3 days. What do you want for Christmas? A cardinal. Okay. And I was like, that would be a really sweet gift. She's too old for Tupperware anymore. So I was like, what's an easy gift that she would really like? So I think I might get her a stuffed cardinal because she really likes birds. Which is great, It thrills me to hear that she's loving nature and going outside and everything. So cute. I'm almost sick of the cuteness. Can I become your niece? Exactly. Give him some pilgrim style buckle shoes. That would look good. I don't know if I'll try. That would be kind of cute. A nice little embellishment. So very cute. Thank you. I am the world's best uncle. That title belongs to me and no one else. Just want to let everybody else know. I'm the best aunt. I'm the best aunt ever. I taught my niece how to slap her grandmother with lettuce. So I think it's clear winner. Not even lying. Too old for Tupperware. How dare you? Well, you know what? It's true. I don't understand these parents spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on their children's toys when they're like, ages 6 months to, 2.5 or something like that. Just give them a bottle of water. Give them some Tupperware. They'll be okay. Give them the box of the really cool thing you bought for yourself. I love my Uncle Megatron. Sickeningly cute. Okay. All right. Just thought I'd ask. It was so much fun so we had some old romaine lettuce at the house. And Grandma was sitting on the couch. And I was just in a jolly ornery mood. Boil them in milk. That's right. For good luck. So I took her over here and said, here, take this. Well, actually, first I swatted her in the face with the romaine limbs. And it was very limp. It was so much fun. She was so shocked. Like, I can't believe, I don't know what's happening. I can't believe somebody just hit me in the face with lettuce. Now, mind you, she's very, very young. So she didn't quite have the words. Just the look on her face was was priceless. I laughed at her. I laughed so hard. So I smacked her again. And she started smacking me, and I let her because it didn't hurt. And so I said, "Hey, let's go visit Grandma." Grandma's sitting on the couch. So she snuck over there as best as a tiny little one could do. And I had to brace her and just be like, "Hey, she wants to show you something really cool." And she just walked over very uncertain. Like, am I really about to do this? And she let her have it, man, as much as a little one could do. It was so funny. It's gonna be one of my favorite memories. Nothing quite like teaching your little niece how to smack grandma in the face with lettuce. It's her face. Oh my goodness. My nieces are into Disney princesses, so they're pretty. Yeah. Well, she's so young. She really likes like Rapunzel and stuff like that. But at the same time, it switches to Paw Patrol and everything. So, maybe I'll just get her some lettuce for Christmas and be like, "Here, go smack your mom. Go smack grandma again." I tickle me sometimes. Here we go. There you go. Spoil yourself. You deserve it. If you are able to get the children to become adults, you have done the deed. My box is full of dark secrets. We all have a box of dark secrets. I have 28 nieces and nephews. Your family don't have cable? That sounds like so much fun. Hey! Oh, we should have made that part of the holiday experience in our world. It would be great. Yeah, lettuce. I drew and framed pictures of Anna and Elsa and bought them Disney coloring books. That's fantastic. Absolutely. Dark chocolates, I mean. All right, let's... Oh, accidentally picked up some color from the other thing. So if you haven't watched my recent tutorial on how to color snow, that goes for other white clothing and white hair and stuff like that too. Just let you know. Some people let me know they never paused to think about how to color snow, but found it really helpful. So I'm just throwing that out there. I've been doing some tutorials. You're welcome. Okay. You have 30. I don't have that many. I don't have that many. Whew. All right, so let's get this going. Let's move on up to the east side here. Wow, we're going on a late stream tonight, but I'm having fun. I hope you guys are enjoying and that you're having fun. I like hanging out with you guys, laughing about lettuce and boiling children. Okay. Horrific nursery rhymes. Gotta watch out. YouTube's always listening. Creating these worlds, learning about other countries and cultures. So, he's gonna have like dirty kind of fuzz here. It's not quite as clean as I like, but that's okay. I'm learning about ambient lighting, and so I might have to make the rest of him darker at some point, but we got what we got. Okay. Oh, and speaking of which. Well, that didn't work out the way I'd hoped it would. It picked up too much color. Wow. We were going for the rustic elf anyway. 9 brothers and 4 sisters. That's awesome, though. That's really awesome, though. I know a couple of people with really large families, and I think it's great. Like, I think it's fantastic. Let's see, what color should his gloves be? I guess maybe I should make those red too. Although I was thinking about making the gift. I think I make the gift like gold. Maybe I should make it blue. Oh, his hair. We were saying like it needs to be. We were making it like we were gonna make him into Ron Weasley or something. Okay. Guys, got any plans for the weekend? Had a good day today. I was able to get in a 9-mile bike ride. Fascinating. Congratulations. It's a new hobby I picked up this year. That's cycling in traffic. New hobby. Living on the edge. Cycling in traffic or cycling through traffic. But that's fantastic. Congratulations. I know I have an exercise bike now, and I try to get on that as well. You know, I don't get to walk around as much, but I've been, editing videos and things like that. So I'm trying to be able to still be active and retain this girlish figure of mine. But also, if I exercise, then I feel that I'm entitled to eat cake and ice cream, and I don't feel bad about it. So, and I don't. I refuse to feel bad about it. Life's too short to feel bad about eating cake. Now, I don't approve of gluttony, but I'm just saying, like, nonsense. Let them eat cake. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, all the way. All right, here we go. Oh, he's so cute. Although his hair looks like Pringles. Name him Weasel? Well, you guys have already named him Melvin. Right? See, I'm breaking Tabitha into naming him Melvin. She's getting there. Yeah, Melvin Weasel. Or Weasel. 3 sets of twins, you lie. Man, I remember about reading this one lady in Africa. I forget which country it was. But it was like on the History Channel or whatever like that. And she was kind of like a noble tribal lady. And she was a very fertile woman. But not only that, she did the impossible. She ended up having, let me see if I get this right. She had 3 sets of twins. Excuse me. She had 3 sets of twins and 2 sets of triplets. Lady. Now, what's interesting, okay, here's some other stuff. And I don't believe this was for all tribes, but there again in certain region in Africa, having twins was not a good thing. It was kind of like a bad luck thing because, again, breeding, which kind of was how they looked at it. A lot of tribal folk in different areas, like having children, was really about survival, right? Carrying on the lineage, but survival as well. Excuse me. So it's really important to have the best kind of kids because, you didn't really, you got to remember, like back in the day, you didn't get the luxury of kind of like choosing and having this variety of options of who and what you wanted to be. Like, how did you best serve the clan? How did you best serve the tribe and the farm and whatnot? So warriors, everybody wants to be a warrior. You have a sword. I have one too. They're very manly and tough. And so, it was important to have very strong, healthy male children, right? So if a woman were to give birth to twins, it was frowned upon. And oftentimes, I can't remember if it was either one or both children were killed, or if anything, they were frowned upon because they were looked at as weak. Basically, obviously, in a primitive society, and lack of education, ignorance, they considered it to be weakness, that you had basically a child that divided itself and became two children. And so that means that neither of them were strong. It basically was a strong child that divided itself, became weak. So it was never going to be as strong as it could have been. We obviously know that that's ridiculous nonsense, but obviously, if you don't have that information and you have strange priorities, you come to these weird conclusions. So I just kind of wondered, like, when they saw this woman and all she could do was procreate in multiples. Well, maybe we won't change our mind on this. I can't remember if she was nobility or not. Well, she was prominent. I just can't remember if she was royalty or not. You guess your bad one. Well, and so if I'm not mistaken, I think it was always, as it usually is in history in any case, where I believe the woman was to blame. The woman could not produce, well, but guys always kind of make fun of each other anyway, but I believe it was usually the fault of the woman if she was not able to produce a healthy, in their eyes, a healthy, sustainable, singular man-child. Man flesh. I'm not very good at coloring hair, so I hope Melvin's, I hope he'll be happy with the do that he gets, We're all learning. Maybe Melvin's one of the Weasley children that decided not to go to Hogwarts, and he instead went to the North Pole to help Father Christmas. "Where have you been?" said his mother. He's like, I went to the North Pole to make toys for kids, Mom. Like, geez. Calm down. There we go. Pretty cute. Now I'm weak and can never be stronger than I am. I'm coming for you, Forgotten Man. Twins is a great movie. Turns out they make great siblings too. It was a good movie. I think I got the Danny DeVito side. I'm not really that tall and ripply. Well, everybody has a purpose. Okay. Now, eyebrows usually are darker than the rest of the hair. You ever seen those gals? Sometimes guys, but typically, you ever seen those girls that have like blonde hair? They have like black eyebrows. I don't think we'll do that. I don't think we'll do that to this poor fella. But we'll make sure his eyebrows are dark. His eyebrows usually are darker. I know that seems to be kind of a running joke too, like with girls from, what is it, London or Liverpool or something like that. They always have these really dark eyebrows and like light colored hair, bleached hair. It's like, it's not just over there, but that does seem to be kind of a weird stereotype. Oh, he's darling. Oh, I missed a part of his arm. Oh, poor Melvin. Should we make him one-armed as well, just like my lizard woman? Poor guy. Hang on, let me help the brother out here. Here we go. But I'm glad you guys are having a good day. Sounds like you got your life together somewhat, as much as we possibly can here on the internet. Got some Christmas shopping. I'm pretty much done with my Christmas shopping. pretty much done. Still got a few more things. Did you guys know? All right, this is probably a strange question to, or not even a question, comment. But did you guys know that the Sea of Thieves, this is like totally random and out of nowhere, but did you know that the Sea of Thieves video game had books? Now, I've never played Sea of Thieves. I've watched, most of us are from the same community. We got friends in high places that play these games, and we enjoy watching them play. But did you know that they have books? Gasps in Hermione. I want to get one of those. I want to get one. Like, all right, his mitten. Should I just make that red? Red. Oh, well, gosh darn it, Tabitha. I just realized I have like a whole bag of other red markers. You got your shopping done in October? That's awesome. I usually get my shopping done throughout the year. People think that it's amazing. That like, oh my gosh, how did you get all your shopping done? I'm so jealous. It's like easy. I don't wait until Christmas to do my shopping. I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't understand the stress that people put on themselves by waiting until Christmas to buy presents. What is the point of that? Why would you do that to yourself? And then get all flustered and be like, I'm so stressed out. I can't wait for this holiday season to be over. Well, you did it to yourself, Karen. Like, then shop earlier. I don't understand. I'm confused. I'm as confused as a chameleon in a bowl of Skittles about that. I just don't understand. I don't. But it's interesting. I'm trying to be better about this, but I remember listening to a podcast, and this one lady, she's a life coach, and she gives little tips and tricks about existing in the world. And she was talking about gift giving. And yes, exactly, the pirate game that Jay and Wicked play. Yes. Well, all right. There's that. I think you saw this earlier. Got some more scattered right here. And I got this box here. Would you believe that that's still not enough markers? Because I'm kind of scattered in my colors. So I might have 6 versions of brown. But I really, really could use 8. Yeah, I've never played Sea of Thieves either. I heard it's really, really difficult to play by yourself, if not nigh and impossible. Although I think they're coming out with like an expansion pack where you could do that. It seems like it's a lot more fun to play with a crew. But yeah, they have books about the lore of Sea of Thieves and stuff like that. So I'm already intrigued by the sorry, I'm looking for a marker. A specific marker. Not this one, but I need this one. It's not this one either. Where's my pink marker? All right, we'll just use this one. But it just looks really cool. I love the art style of the game. I'm mesmerized by it. I'm enchanted by it. Oh, I would, that would be hilarious. You guys think he's funny? Trying to play that game? I'd drive people away and be like, who is this girl who thinks I'd love to. It'd be fun. I'd love to give it a try. But, maybe one day I'll put it on my Christmas list and see if Santa hears me. But I remember watching him play that when he first got it. And I laughed my butt off. I was hoping my family couldn't hear me. I was laughing so hard. I was crying. It was some of the best gaming content I've ever seen in my life because he didn't have a clue what he was doing. And you guys remember watching those early days? And all he could do was play music and fall off the ship? Good times. And my favorite part was like X-Wing telling him what to do. And he would be like, go, like, he would, something like, go put the anchor down. And so he's like, aye, Captain. So he ends up in the bottom of the ship just playing his accordion. And he's like, Mr. 3PO, where's the anchor? And he's like, I'm on it. It was hilarious. I laughed until I cried. And then he fell off the ship. Oh, hey, my nerdy home. He's this is Melvin. Forgotten Man has named him. He's Melvin. And yeah, I will give you guys a sneak peek at another art project. Oh well. What do you think? I'm going to turn him into a holiday goat. This is going to be a scarf. He's still got some stuff that he needs to have on, but I'm going to give you a little sneaky peek. Look how cute he is. He has no idea that he's going to be on the dinner plate later on. And I'm just kidding. We were talking about a lot of interesting things earlier, so you know that this is kind of a dark humor stream today. You know what would have been really cool is like Christmas elf with like black clothes and snowflake. That would have been a challenge that I'm glad I didn't shoot for now that I think about it. Okay, I'm gonna make this band, I think, red, and then I'll make the rest of his hair, or excuse me, his hat, green. All right, let's finish this dude. We have been streaming for a while. How's everybody though? Still doing okay? She says, I loved him. Excellent. I can't wait to get them all colored and then try to print them out. I think the vibrancy is just going to be, love it. Did you say he hasn't? Oh, I thought you were talking about my elf. I was like, excuse you, sir. He certainly has gotten better than we first started. No, I understand. No, I got you. Context is key. I got you. Oh, this one's starting to get dry. My markers are starting to have the squeakies. Oh, I'm going to have to get... So that's the thing, too. What's really cool about Copic markers is that you can actually refill them yourself, so you don't have to necessarily buy the ink. Another marker, because each marker is about $7 to $8 per marker. I'm poor. Please look at my Amazon wish list. But but you can get them refilled. So where I used to live, there was actually a craft store that would for a easy cost. I forget how much it was. I don't know what my words were supposed to be there. They would actually refill them. I miss that place now. Oh no. Can you guys see? Look, it's starting to go pale. How am I? Okay. All right. I got another green that's similar to it. And if you're not into artwork and you haven't given it a go, you'll not really understand why you have to have so many variety of marker. Now, you don't have. I like to make sure I tell people you don't have to have this many markers to create beautiful artwork. But as any hobby or activity or whatever, the more you want to excel, the better that you want to get, you invest more, you get more, of what might look like it's the same, but you can see where that comes with the blending and everything like that. It, excuse me, it makes a difference. This is pretty basic blending. There are some people that use Copic markers and they make the most realistic looking portraits using markers, and it has to do with the blend and the saturation. And this marker's dying. May it rest in peace. Poor thing. We, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to lay to rest Copic sketch marker number G12. He had a good time in Japan, where he's from originally. His parents allowed him to grow and develop, and one day he decided to go to America, and his parents weren't sure what he would accomplish then, but he took his time, he studied. He's a very patient marker, number G12, and He gave his life in the line of duty, creating what all markers want to create: joy, happiness, especially around the holiday seasons. And so we commit his body to the side of the camera frame until maybe one day he will become a zombie and be resurrected, or he gets replaced by G12.0. Thank you for your service. He will be replaced until then with number YG12, excuse me, YG11. Let's just see what this looks like. Oh, it's flowing so much nicer. Look at that. Look at that. Now, this one, it might look the same, but yeah, he was. Yep, amen. Amen. Yeah. G12 was a great marker. He left his stain behind, his mark. Yeah. I had to go there with the dad joke. I just throw my dead markers in the bin. Oh! That's rough. I hurt a little bit. I have a friend that is a world-class watercolor artist. Her name is Karen Heidler. Her work also watercolor, realistic watercolor. Man, she's a brave soul. Watercolor is hard for me. It's very hard for me. Yes, thank you. I'll let him know. He's slowly dying over there to the side. We're gonna saturate this hat so you probably can't see much of a difference. Of course, on camera things look very different. He's actually black, but there are subtle nuances to the shades and the tones and things like that. And so this is YG, which stands for yellow green. And so the other one was just green. I can see subtle tones. See, is that the right word? I don't know. It's late. Of yellow in here. And so that is what the difference is. You know, if you're going for a specific color, then mixing them like this is not necessarily ideal. I don't mind it so much because then everything is just kind of higgledy-piggledy, but it makes sense at the same time. It depends on what I'm doing. So if you wanted to do really realistic, like let's say Barbie, there's a certain hue of pink that you need. It just won't do to just throw whatever pink you want on there, depending on what the art style is that you're going for. So that's why we artists need a bajillion of the same color. Yeah, it was a little on the nose, and I was like, should I say it? But I'm like, you know what? He won't know. No. Whoops. He won't know. All right, let's see. So, for example, I even have a hard time seeing the difference between G05 and G09, emerald green and Veronese green. Let me swatch them for you up here in the corner. So here's that one. And I'm sure you'll see something of a difference, but you know. So there's a difference. Again, on camera, it might be different. You might not, but this one is slightly darker, richer in color. So it just makes a difference when you're blending and having, you know. You might think, well, that's like 4 colors apart. So imagine what G04 looks like, or G06. You know, it's all part of the process, though. It's just how we roll around here. His hair is bleeding into the hat. Where? Well, like a little tiny bit over there, a little bit over there too. But that's what's really great, because then you just make it look like the hair's popping out from underneath of it. The worst part is when you get a brand new Copic and it dries up on you in a couple months. I haven't had that problem so much. I think for me, the worst part is when I actually get the marker refilled. Forget that I refilled it. And just come out swinging after I've started coloring and going, and it's so full it actually bleeds, and then a giant drop has fallen onto my picture and I have to somehow make it work. That has only happened once, but you know, much like our dearly fallen brother G12, gone but never forgotten. I remember when that happened. It was awful. Here we go. And we're almost done here. Hope everybody's had a good time. Hope you guys have hit the like button too. I haven't said that. The Vampire Police song. Classic here on Dreaming Tabitha. And I was going to make this red here, but I want to do that after I get the green taken care of. Uh-oh, I hear a little bit of a squeaky squeak from Geo5. Sounds like somebody's got the death rattles. But it's also because I'm doing long strokes, so it kind of dries up a little bit. But it's I use this one a lot too, so I need to. And that's why that joke, if you've maybe seen it around the internet, where it's like, get your kids into art, they won't have money for drugs. And it's true. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, like $8 a marker. That's like my Prismacolor pencils. They're about $2 per pencil. So, you know. So that stereotype of like the starving artist and everything, maybe we're not starving, but at the same time, you can't really be affording that, Barbie dream home because you're like, I got markers to buy, man. My G4s are dying. They got the crook. Melvin on the shelvin'. Dang right. Oops. I meant his blonde hair is turning his hat yellow. Is it? Where? Like here? I mean, I did overdraw a little bit, but we could fix that. We'll just enhance it. There. Because it's not bleeding. That's what's really great about these markers, is that they don't really bleed too much. Now, I did go over a little bit here, but that's going to get turned red, so I'm not too worried about it. I think we need Steph to join us this month for the art challenge thingy. Well, it is very possible that Steph's going to be back on the channel. If you haven't seen my video with my nerdy home on the channel, you should check out that video. That was nice. I taught her favorite creature. We painted her favorite creature. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to see it for yourself. See, and I need a slightly darker. Oh, well, believe me, I do have that darker. This is G28 Ocean Green. And the other thing about Copic markers, like when you start learning how to color, which I'm still learning, is the nib. The thing that makes Copic markers so expensive is obviously the quality of the ink, but honestly, that anybody will tell you is the nib, because this is magic, pure magic. It has the capability of being firm yet flexible at the same time, and you'll see it has a nice point on the edge of it, so it's very flexible, but at the same time can be like I said, sturdy when you need it to be. So the quality of the tip is like pretty much what you're paying for. There aren't a lot of markers that are like it. There are some that compete and are good, but it's hard. Like, so Spectrum markers, not a fan. The ink's fantastic, but the marker tips, the nibs, they're short and they're very stiff. So it's, in order to get these little, for me, the style that I like to do these little wisps like this, right? So you can press down and lift off, kind of like painting. And I can't do that with the Spectrum Noir ones. Maybe if I practice a little more, I could, but it's hard. I don't like it. I use them. I'm grateful for them, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Ooh, a challenge. Well, I thought about that actually. I'm like, what if I invited some people who don't have as much experience painting, drawing, creating, whatever, to come onto the art challenge thing? Because as we all have seen, just because you're an artist doesn't mean you can always create good artwork. Sometimes you get lost in the mystery. But it would be a challenge for sure. But it's really a challenge for anybody. Press harder, bleed it out of yeah, well, exactly. And I use my markers until they die. I mean, poor G12, because they're so expensive, and then you can use them for wispier layers because of the fact that they're dying, you know. I don't use this one quite as often, so it's very heavy. Do you store them horizontally or vertically? So that's the other thing about Copic markers from the science that they've told us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you store them. They are supposed to put the ink, because they're double-edged. So it doesn't matter if you do it this way or this way, whatever. I forget. There's a whole video online you can find about the really cool part about the markers, and that you can store it any direction and it will not affect the flow of the ink. So that's another reason that, you know, it's a wonderful investment. But, you know, all magic comes with a price. Okay, like my man Rumpelstiltskin, all magic comes with a price. All right. Just smooth out the lines a little bit. Sometimes they're okay. Yes, I have to press a little harder because poor G05 is dying. But at the same time, if I just kind of press lightly, just a little bit comes out, so it's a very soft blend. So it's serving a purpose. It just takes a little more time, a little more effort. It's kind of like having a really great brush with just a little bit of paint, add a little water to it, and it just kind of things that flow. Let's try going the opposite direction. Some of those lines. I really set. That's all right. Horizontally, I have a nice rack to hold my markers in place. Judging your avatar. So wait, can you color with them upside down? Yes, because that's what I've been doing, technically. I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it. Because they're double-ended, so technically you could say that. Okay. Oh, I forgot we still have to finish off it. I'm just jumping the gun. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now, I never really use this end. It doesn't blend well enough for me, and I'm a little bit, I don't know. I don't have as much control over that. Megatron, do you use the calligraphy end? I can't remember the last time I did. The only time I might use that end is if I'm swatching, but I really don't use it. My eyes are up here. It's Great. Sorry. It couldn't help. Oops. Squeak, squeak, squeak. And then burnt sienna. Yellow. The chiseled end, yeah. I don't use that. That. Now I just got to do the present in his hand. Shoot fire, 2.5 hours. Okay. Good thing I brought my coffee. All right. We're down to the final stretch here. Let me clean up some of this. Excuse the sounds, the clinkety clack clack of the train track. Here we go. Just so I have some space here, I've got to think about which. So let's see. I was thinking of doing like a yellow. Excuse me. Yeah, like a yellow. I do have this Lionette Gold. It's a really pretty color, but it's kind of gold. Kind of gold. Right there, if you see it in there up here. If the brush tip runs low, I'll sometimes chisel it because sometimes there's more ink on the. Yeah, I mean it's a bigger tip. I just have a hard time blending with that. I just never use it. All right, so I was thinking maybe yellow and gold for the present. What do we think? We think maybe that would be yellows. Let's see. Gather around, yellows. I don't really have that many yellows either. I have yellowish colors. So let's see what we can do. Let's snap our fingers. Okay. I'm nervous. I'm not very confident in my color choices. I can kind of see it. All right, we're just going to go for it. All right. We're going to do a gold bow because it's Christmas. Christmas time. Best present you ever got at Christmas. What was it? And also, do you guys do, or did you grow up with like pranks for Christmas? If so, please share. I'd love to hear about it. For me, one of the best Christmas presents I ever received was a Doodle Bear. This was back in the 90s. It was one of the few times I ever got a present that was, if you will, trending. A popular gift. My parents weren't really into getting us gifts that were, all the rage necessarily. I think my parents just had the wisdom to know that, kids are flighty. No sense in getting them stuff that they're not gonna, really remember or appreciate or whatever, just because my parents were just never into getting it because the other kids had it. It just wasn't their style, which I appreciate now that I'm older. But I've always had a love for stuffed animals. I love stuffed animals. I never buy them anymore. Never, because Toy Story has ruined me, and I just know that if I buy one, then I have to buy them all because they'll all be sad that I took their friend, and then they might never get to see a home and have friends. And anyway, but they got me a Doodle Bear, and if you don't know what that is, it's now that I'm an artist full time, it's so funny how these things come to pass. But it was basically a stuffed animal bear that kind of looked like it was made out of fake jeans material. either in blue or in a pinkish purple color. And you could draw on it, but the magic was that you could then wash it and draw on it again later on, which was so cool. That was so cool. And I still have that bear to this day. That's probably one of the best Christmas presents I've ever gotten. That's one that really sticks out to me. Pogs? My parents never bought me Pogs either. I had some Pogs, but we didn't really go out and get a whole bunch of them. But like Kentucky, so when the Phantom Menace came out, Kentucky Fried Chicken used to, on the top of their family bucket, they would put collectible Phantom Menace Pogs, character Pogs, on the top of the Kentucky Fried Chicken family bucket, on the thing that kept it warm. And I remember I got Jar Jar Binks once, and I freaking loved it because I liked Jar Jar. So the Phantom Menace was my era Star Wars, right? Like, I'd seen Return of the Jedi and everything like that, but like, that was my era of Star Wars, and I loved it. You know, people can talk trash about it, whatever. I didn't understand enough of the lore at the time to understand why people were outraged at some of the decisions that George made. But you know what? I freaking loved it, and to this day, I still do. It's one of my favorites. But anyway, one of the most amazing gifts I ever got was an American Girl doll. I used to love to read the American Girl books when they were actually about American history and not in like real problems like slavery pioneers and World War II, not this crap that they sell today where it's like, you know, Kira can't make it onto the gymnastic team because, I don't know, her cookies burnt in the oven. This nonsense. It's ridiculous. But I got Molly. She was my speed, and eventually I liked Samantha and Kit and everything. Eventually Kit became my favorite, but Molly was my favorite for years. But I actually got an American Girl doll, which was really significant because of the fact that, you know, we were a military family, didn't have a bunch of money, and American Girl dolls was not cheap. And so I got the official Molly American Girl doll. It was pretty cool. It's really cool. Jar Jar, that's right. Misa called Jar Jar Binks. You can say he was annoying, he was too goofy. I loved him. I thought he was great. Girl meme, Tabitha's answer. What? A doodle bear? Wrapping presents was the best. I love wrapping presents. I do. Whenever it would get too late in the month for my mom and she'd fall behind on wrapping presents, I'm like, please, can I just do it? You can just wrap my presents. I'll wrap everybody else's. I do make gingerbread houses, but because of who I am as a person, it's really stressful. Imagine if Pogs came back. It would be an opportunity for artists. So I remember, was it this year or sometime, I was like, they were bringing, it looked like they were going to bring back Pogs, and I was like, I remember. And that's when you were like, oh no, crap, I'm old. Because when you start seeing toys that you saw when you were a child, that's when you know. So I mean, they even brought the Doodle Bear back around and the Furby, and it's like, oh man, I'm old. I always hear like Jamie Lee Curtis in the back of my head. Oh, I'm the Okay, so we're almost done, fam. We's almost done. I wanted to make this box a little more three-dimensional, so we're going to make one side darker than the other. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. As you always know, I'm very appreciative. I know it's late. I know you guys have, there's always somebody else you could be watching. There's always somebody else you could be hanging out with. And so the fact that you were here listening to me talk about anything and helping me with my artwork, giving me little tips, even honestly just the words of affirmation, means more than you know. I mean, like I said, there's plenty of other people you could be hanging out with on a Thursday But here you are in my little corner of the internet, and that's really special. It's a Christmas miracle. God bless us, everyone. So I appreciate that. I really do. I mean, where else on planet Earth? Where else on YouTube could you talk about Christmas, boiling milk and babies, it all on the same night on the same channel? Nowhere. That's where. Nowhere. Oh my gosh, is it Jacob Ironside? Give me crayons and wrapping paper, cardboard tube, we're all Jedi at Christmas time, are we not? We are. Come on, tell me that we're not. Tell me that I'm the only person that gets excited when the wrapping paper tube empties. Tell me I'm the only person. I dare you. I've made a couple noises with a wrapping paper tube in my lifetime. Yes, I have. And I hashtag not ashamed. Not ashamed. I'm George Lucas Star Wars fan all the way, every day, all day. All day. Greatest franchise on Earth. Despite my avid love for Lord of the Rings. Facts. I don't know what you were referring to, but what I just said was facts too. How do you like your babies boiled? Well, I don't. I feel like that could just really go into a bad place. I'm just like the only thing. I used to do that too. Please. Used to? Sure. Okay. Let's assess. Let's step back. Let's have a look. I feel something's wrong. Nope. I don't have the right colors for that, so I ain't gonna do it. There we go. A little too bright for me. Then I don't really like to outline my characters. Sometimes I do it. I don't. So maybe this guy, we'll just leave him without. A little bit of purple, because Megatron said maybe some purple. Almost. Oh, Sons of the Pharaoh. I don't want any harsh lines. And I think maybe, let's see. I always used to save the wrapping paper tube and color it red or blue. I tried that too. You know how many Crayola markers I've murdered trying to color a brown paper tube. And beat your brother, of course. All right, let's see if I can wake this up. I need to get a better paint marker. This one's not great. I was following Dee Dee Williams. She's another artist on YouTube. She streams usually in the morning, and she does some really quirky and fun stuff, and she's super sweet. Like, you can't help but be like, just drawn to her personality. Even if you don't like her artwork, you'd be like, that's got to be one of the sweetest women in the world. But anyway, she uses Posca, I think is what it's called, Posca markers. And they're much better than this, but they're really big. I don't know if they sell them in little. This stuff takes forever to dark and I don't like it. So, all right, guys, as we're calming down, as we're coming down to the end, anything that we would like to add to All Laurels Eve, aka Day, where our creatures, here we go, where our creatures celebrate, well, it's like a celebration / mourning of those who fell during the battle of the marshes. I forget the exact name. There, he just needed a little extra something. They stoned the witches on Laurel's Eve. They don't stone the witches. Let's see, should I add? I'm gonna go for it. Well, I don't think that did what I wanted it to do. See, this marker sucks. It bites monkeys. Like, I don't... See, I've ruined it. What have I done? See, and look how easy that was to wipe away. That should not be... I guess I'll just leave it. I say as I approach. Nah, he looks too stupid. I guess we'll just leave it that way. We're leaving it rustic. But alright, All Laurels Eve, aka Marsh Day, where they remember the fallen. They collect wildflowers. They get together in the different fields and they collect wildflowers and create laurel crowns to release into the swamp to symbolize the victory that they should have won during that battle. And it's a time of getting together and celebrating with those loved ones who either fought in that war, or just a time of getting together with family to appreciate and love one another. And then also the food that they eat, the traditional food, the traditional meal of All Laurels Eve would be fried ratworm stew with chestnuts. Yum. They stone witches as soon as they're discovered, if they have any sense. I don't know if witches will be in the world that we're going to create. Oh, one last thing though. There we go. Our beautiful, beautiful little Melvin the Elf. I was trying to remember his name. Melvin the Elf. He has come to fruition. I appreciate all of the advice and the suggestions for little Melvin here, with the purple in the eyes and the teal in the eyes. I think that complements all of the stuff going on, all the color schemes that we've got going on. I like the box. That turned out really cool. And I probably would go over him with maybe some with coloring pencils eventually, because that's what I do, what I've learned to do in the past. That's what I've done with my other little characters and how you can get them to be more vibrant. I can't remember. Did I do a video on this? But you put down the colors of your markers first, and then you go over and enhance it with your coloring pencils afterwards. And that's what really, like, the one picture that I really learned this trick on was Luffy. I was amazed at how dramatically different he looked, because I always take before and after pictures of my characters, and how vibrant, like, the eyes and everything became when I added the coloring pencil. So just, if there is a way that you're trying to one up your art style, expand your horizons and try something different, and you just want your art to look better, richer, whatever the case might be, use markers as your foundation. Get it looking nice, map things out, take your time, make it look beautiful, and then go over it with coloring pencils, and you'll notice
a dramatic difference in your artwork. It takes time, still takes practice, but it was definitely worth the effort and the trial. And I'm super excited. Also, like I was saying before, a lot of cool things coming to the channel next year. A lot of cool things coming for me as an artist personally. We're going to continue building this world in that book here. Melvin's eyes are drying. But we're going to continue with the story of Carl and Guts and this guy over here that we named Marsdar, also known as Solomon. That little torso. I can't. I need to color him. I need to copy color torso, and I need to redo Carl. We've also got Donker over here. He's huge, man. He's huge. And then of course Dastian. We've got Bindi the Udao. I loved her little story that we made. Unfinished Dragon Eye. Kevin, my personal favorite. Little douchebag. He's so cute. I love him. That's my music. I love him. And then of course there's Gus. But yeah, we're going to continue this world. We're going to expand beyond character creation. We're going to go into like maps, and customs, and everything. We're going to make a really cool story, I think, out of this. But then also, like I said, some changes coming. I'm going to start being able to provide my own stickers in the shop where I don't have to rely on other people to make them, and characters of my chibis. Hopefully you guys enjoy. There's going to be caricatures of some famous characters, and I'm also going to be providing some original artwork, and I'm also going to start providing some stickers of the characters that we've created together as a thank you to you guys that will be available for you. And maybe you'll tell me what's your favorite. We're going to keep on creating, and we'll put more in the shop. Of course, if you want to look for ways to support the channel, you can check out the description box, the link down below, or the link. Sorry, in the description box down below. It's late. Come on, we've been working hard. But then also, having some really great videos coming, and then some interviews and some art and all kinds of cool stuff coming in 2024. I can't believe it, guys. We've made it through a whole other year, and you guys have been with me for a while. Some more travel art vlogs, and just I'm so excited about all the possibilities of what's coming in 2024. I don't know what's on your agenda, and I tell you what, I'm pretty scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty scared to put myself out there and try to draw in front of you guys, to put my merchandise in front of you. Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how horrible that makes it? But I think some of you do. And as we've learned through the community and other people, sometimes you got to take the plunge and just see where it lands you and learn and go from there. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you all have a Merry Christmas. Don't forget that I'm going to probably do some impromptu live streams. I apologize that I don't have necessarily a schedule for the next coming weeks, because normally we meet on Thursdays, but I'm going to be traveling throughout the rest of the month, meeting friends and family, and so Thursday live streams are probably not going to be regular until we get back into the new year, but I'm still going to be providing videos. I've got a special video just for everybody on the 25th and also on the 24th, as with the upcoming Mondays. And then I'm going to try to return back to characters in the book. I think I need to create that rat worm. I think we need a visual representation of that rat worm. And so I'm going to try to find, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to try to find a day to schedule so that we can do that. I'll make sure I get that up. We need to see what this rat worm will look like. And as I come up with some ideas, I might make a poll in the community tab. So just be sure that you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already, so that you can see and be a part of the creation of this world. I want to thank you all again so much. I see people saying thank you. Good night. Great artwork. Good night, y'all. You guys have been amazing. Fantastic. Everybody has a great night's sleep. Have a great upcoming weekend. May all your efforts be rewarded. And it's going to be okay. I know holidays are hard for some people. It's okay. You've made it in this far into 23. We're going to go together into 24. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Anyway, thanks so much for coming out. That is awesome. Good night, everybody.